Welcome to this lesson on organizing your course content in Schoology. In our last lesson, you learned how to create a folder and some of the folder features that help students navigate through your course. As you look at the folder we created in our last lesson, notice that we added a start and an end date so that our students know where they should be working and how long they will be working in this folder. We also added a title to the unit, a descriptive text, and an image, and all these reinforce our learning objectives. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to build an organizational structure for your course using folders. As we get started, I want to emphasize that there is more than one right way to organize your course. District leaders may give explicit instructions on which method they want you to use, and of course you should follow their directions. However, those instructions may change from time to time, but what will not change is that whatever method you use, you will want to make sure that your students can easily navigate through the course. I have attached a PDF file to this lesson called 7 Simple Ways to Set Up Your Course. This is a resource from Schoology that explains 7 different ways to organize your course. I will just mention 3 of these. First is the time machine. This is where you organize your course in chronological order. For example, week 1, week 2, etc. Many elementary teachers prefer this method. Another method of organization is by the book. In this method, you organize your course by the chapters in a textbook. The last method that I want to mention is the archiver. In this method, the content is organized by units in the curriculum. I personally prefer this method, but it doesn't make any difference which method you choose as long as it is so intuitive that when a student enters your course, he should know immediately where to go, what to do, how to do it, and when it should be completed. If students are not able to do this, then we cannot expect them to take ownership of their learning. They will always be dependent upon you for directions. Our goal is to enable our students to work at any time, any place, and at their own pace. A proper use of folders can make this possible. If you already have a Schoology course, I would like you to open it and take a look at it and honestly ask yourself this question. Can a new student enter my Schoology course and know where to go and what to do without any assistance from me or anyone else in the course? If not, then this lesson will be helpful for you. Now we are going to build the organizational structure for this unit by opening this folder. The folder is empty, but this is where we are going to add additional folders for each of the lessons that we will teach during this unit. Watch as I enter the first folder. I will name our first folder Cell Theory. In the description text box, I could add a sentence about what will be covered in this lesson, but I will not take time to do that now. I also won't add any dates to this folder until after I've added content to the folder. At this point, I may not be sure how long it will take to get through this lesson, but I will eventually add dates to all my lesson folders. To save this folder, I will click on the Create button. We now have our first lesson folder, and inside of this folder, we will add all the resources such as assignments, discussions, and assessments that students will need to complete this lesson. After we have added the other lesson folders for this unit, our screen might look something like this. Now let's look at a course that is much further along to see the organizational structure that we might want to build. This is an 8th grade social studies course. These folders are the units listed in our curriculum. The current unit that we are working on is Writing the Constitution. Notice that it is the 4th folder in this list. I can help my students locate this folder more quickly by clicking and dragging it to the top of the list. Watch how this is done. This is another small step to helping my students know where to go and what to do so that they can take responsibility for their learning. Finally, let's look inside this folder. Notice that I have a list of all the lesson folders on writing the Constitution. The current lesson is the Constitutional Convention, and inside this folder are the resources and assignments that students will complete. These are my assignments and assessments. Let's do a quick review. Writing the Constitution is the unit folder. If I expand this folder, watch what happens. I can now begin to see the organizational structure for this course. Inside the unit folder, there is a list of all the lesson folders for this unit. Inside of each lesson folder is a list of assignments, assessments, and other resources to help students master the content. This is an example of a course organized by units. As I mentioned in the previous lesson, there are multiple ways in which you can organize your course. However, whatever way you choose to organize your course, students should be able to easily navigate through the course without asking for directions. By creating this intuitive structure, our students always know where to go and what to do. In this way, we create a workflow that automates the learning process. This completes this lesson on creating an organizational structure in Schoology.